Hello, all you wonderful people. I am so grateful that you came back and joined us today. We've got some fun little projects today, and I'm hoping you're going to enjoy them. People are always asking me if I painted this picture up um, in front of my fireplace, and yes, I did. So I thought I'd just show that at the beginning here. Today we're going to work on some Halloween things, and I hope you enjoy them, as well as some fall things. And let's get to it. We are going to start with this apple that I got. This wooden apple. It's like a box, a wooden apple box. I got it from Dollar Tree and I ended up gluing some of the pieces of wood together because they come undone. The plies came undone, but that's what you get for the dollar store, right? So I'm right now just painting this apple red. And don't know if this is crimson red or bright red. They're pretty close to the same. Doesn't matter. If you have an apple red, use an apple red. And these just are acrylic paints and from Apple Barrel. Had to think for a minute. Lost my train of thought. And I'm just going to paint this on all sides and on the inside as well. On the bottom, on the sides, on the and in the inside. And this is just kind of an easy project right here. I'm um, just kind of painting it. There's not too much to it. But because those plies, I ended up going in and gluing them together. You'll see in a minute I got them all clipped together and while it's drying. But I am going to do the inside really quickly. And I'm only doing one coat on the inside. I don't remember if I did more than one coat on the front, but you can see, when you're painting your thing if you will need another coat or not. But on the inside I am not because we're going to be filling the inside and you won't see it. But if you're thinking that you might want to do something like this for a teacher's gift or something else or a pencil holder or whatever, you definitely want to paint it. But if you're going to fill it, um, like we're doing, you really don't have to paint it, but I just like to anyway because I like things to be finished. Okay, and now as you can see, I got them all glued. I got the plies glued and I got my little clips on there that I got from Temu, and so I'm letting my glue dry while I'm doing that. Now I am taking some blue kazoo and I am painting onto my um, apple because I want it to be dark. You know how they're deep dark? Washington apples are deep and dark and kind of maroon. Not necessarily that they taste better because, they found out that those beautiful maroon apples sell so much better than the stripy or red or with even some little bit of yellow in there with them, that um, they breeded the trees, they bred the trees to produce that color of apple. And so sometimes that takes away the flavor. Sometimes the lighter colored apples are actually better tasting. These are, and I'm doing that on the sides. I'm doing this as a shadow to just, and like I said, to make it that more maroon color. And I'm just using this blue kazoo because I didn't have any really maroon. And it's pretty easy to mix your paints to get the color you want. And I'm taking a little bit of yellow to lighten it a little bit too, give it a little highlight. Okay, and you see I did the front. I took a little white, and I probably skipped this because my filming, I was out of camera. So I just took some white paint like I'm doing right here and a liner brush. Again, I'm taking a little bit of water on my brush. I'm mixing that with the white, and I'm twisting my brush until I get a point. And then I'm just drawing that line along the edge. That's going to be a highlight, and then I got a couple little lines there at the top to kind of give it the illusion that's where the light is hitting it and it's shiny. And I'm just kind of going over the top and just kind of bringing a little bit of that down a little bit so it still kind of has that, like the lights hitting on the top part of it. And just highlighting a little bit. Oh boy. Okay, yes. Now I've set that aside to dry. I painted the leaves green, but like I said, I was out of camera, so I decided to cut them parts out. But I did paint the leaves green. Now I'm taking a foam dice from Dollar Tree, and I'm taking a balloon, a red balloon, and I'm going to make two red balloons and take two green ones. We're going to make two red apples and two green apples. And so what I'm doing is, and I don't know if you can see it or not because I didn't do so good with this filming, but I took the balloon and I took it around, and now I'm taking a knife and kind of poking a hole, and I am going to um, use that for my stem, and I'm going to poke a limb, a little twig that I got outside, and I'm going to glue that down in. But actually you don't really have to glue it because it goes in there pretty tight. Doing the same thing with the green. Now I'm just taking that glue and I'm just kind of shoving the excess balloon down in the hole, and you can barely tell at all that it is. It hardly has any marks at all where that um, the balloon came together in that hole, with the things. And I just took some little branches and broke them and or cut them and put them on our little apples. And you can't see this too good, but I'm now gluing some leaves on, and in a minute we'll get you in the camera a little bit better so you can see, but I'm just putting some leaves on that apple. I don't know where I disappeared to. I usually cut this out. Now I'm just cutting off some leaves, and I'm going to glue them onto the apple, the green apple. And here comes Mugsy thinking she's a help. She's more of a hindrance, but I ain't gonna tell her that because she won't believe me. And she does think she's such a big help. She's got to investigate everything and she's got to supervise everything. She's got to give me her approval. And I'm just gluing some leaves on there. Okay, now we're back in camera. And I'm going to take some paint. Now I'm taking some Crimson Red and I am just brushing little parts of the grannies. Now I know the stores don't like to have any blush on their apples, their granny apples, but I think it's pretty. I think to find an apple with a granny with a blush on it is really pretty. And so I'm just painting a little bit of blush on these apples, on these green ones. And I do 2 or 3 coats because the balloon and stuff, it needed 2 or 3 coats. But then after I do the 2 or 3 coats, we'll go over with a little bit of white, as you will see in a minute. But I'm just using a small brush. It doesn't matter if it's flat or if it's a filbert brush or whatever brush, it's just a small brush, and I'm just brushing where I think some blush might be on the apple. Now I'm going over it with some white. I'm going over the blush so it kind of isn't so bright red. It's more of a pinkish, blushy color. And I'm just blending those colors, the white in until I get the color I want. I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. And this is just acrylic white paint, and the red is just acrylic red. Like I said, I think I used crimson, but you can use whatever color you want. But I'm just taking some white and I'm just going over, blending in that blush. I don't care that it sticks out, but I just kind of want it to be um, I just kind of want it to be blended in. And I was just thinking if I took these into took them outside and put a shiny glaze on them, because you know apples got to be shiny. The stores don't like it if they're not shiny either. And I don't know why. I mean, I know they look pretty, but the wax tastes so nasty unless you wash it off. And of course, you want to wash your fruit, but now I'm just taking some white and I'm highlighting on the red apples, and I'm just taking my brush and wherever I think that the sun might look like the sun is kind of hitting the light and it's reflecting, and I'm kind of just going around the one side. I'm doing it from the left. Um, the reason why I do everything usually on the left, because when you're painting and stuff and you get in the habit of doing it one way, when you're painting, you never have to stop and think, geez, which way's my light coming? You already know that. And so when you're painting, so you don't get things confused, if you paint the same direction all the time, your light coming from the same direction, you won't have mishaps where your shadow might be on one side, one part of your picture, and the other part it might be on the other side. So I'm just kind of doing the edges and doing a little bit on the top because we want it to look like that light is hitting it. Boy, I'm really throwing those apples around, aren't I? And I'm going to do the same thing with the green apples. I'm going to take some white and I'm going to go along the edges and the top and just highlighting, putting some little lights. Right now I'm just mostly, before I was just kind of doing the toning down the reds, but here I'm just highlighting the edges and where the sun or where the light is hitting off of it. I'm going to do that on both the green apples as well. Just kind of toning down that red again a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe on the bigger TV and bigger screens you can see it, but it doesn't look too um, you can't really see the color too good on this teeny tiny screen I'm watching it on. And being half blind or being blind doesn't help, does it? Okay, still working on the highlight there. I was thinking we was about done, but I guess I got this one other to do. I'm just going on that left side and the top part of the apple. I'm sorry, I always have a paper towel in my hand so I can wipe my brush always. And sometimes I forget what I'm doing and I set it down, and I apologize for my garbage being there. And now of course I'm cleaning my brush again, and not really cleaning it, I'm just wiping the excess paint off. Uh-oh, my ducks are telling me it's time for their dinner. Okay, now I have this basket. I've had it for years and years and years and years and years, and I hated it. So I took it outside and I decided I would paint it black, and then I dry brushed it with some white paint and thought, you know what, I think that looks a little cuter. And I just added some bows on it, some ribbon to give it a little pizzazz. Now this little cow here we've made before in the video, the Fluffy Cow Studio, or the Fluffy Cow meets Uncle Sam. And I will leave the link um, down below or in the comments or whatever. I will make sure I leave the link to that video so you can see how to make this little cow if you did not watch that video. And now is what I do. I don't put my headpieces and decorations on permanently. And is what I did is I had a ribbon. I just took a ribbon, glued some leaves on it. I took a little styrofoam ball, painted it red, and put a stem in it, which was a little uh, piece of that twig, and then I glued a leaf on, and then I used straight pins and pinned it down on, so that way I can change it out every season and I don't have to make a new cow every time because I got quite a few cows. But so I'm just taking the hair out so he's, kind of looks, you know, straightening his hair up a little bit. Now I'm taking some foliage, just some green foliage. This is kind of like a fern-like foliage, only it's lighter green. And I'm just going to take it and put it on the sides. And I took a styrofoam ball and I took my glue gun and tried to make a carameled apple. I will never do it this way again. If I ever do this again, I'm going to melt my glue in a little skillet and dip it in. But I didn't even think, and So I just kind of have this funky looking caramel apple, and I tried to put it together so it looked like he was licking the the apple, and we'll see that at the end a little bit better. And right now I'm taking this Dollar Tree pumpkin, this foam pumpkin, and I cut the top off of it, and I am just painting around that top edge. I'm not painting the inside, I'm just painting the top edge. I'm painting it an outrageous orange, and then I will paint the top part of that pumpkin, the inside of that pumpkin, as you can see, I'm kind of did there. And this is what I did. Again, I was out of camera, so I cut all that out, and I thought I could explain it. I mean, it's not difficult. I just painted around that edge, and I painted around the top part of that hat. Now, the stem on that pumpkin has like a skewer or something, and I used that and stuck it into my cow on the head to hold it on. Now I'm just giving him a hair comb because he needed a hair comb. He's been out being in the regular, no, actually, he's been out in the wind and stuff. So his hair is a little messy, so we fixed him up. Anyway, and now I'm just putting some sunflowers and some fall foliage in the pumpkin with him. Now I got a set of pumpkins from the Dollar Tree, and they had little wires on them. And I took that little wire and wrapped around his little leg, his hoof, so it looks like he's holding that pumpkin, that little pumpkin in the front. Again, this pumpkin was already made. I didn't put horns on this one. I wanted to do a few without the horns, and I thought where he had the pumpkin hat, I didn't know if the horns would fit very good anyway. But I didn't put horns on this one, and that's okay too. They don't always have to have horns, but so I'm just putting these florals that I got from the Dollar Tree. Truth of the matter is you can get some pretty good ones cheaper at Walmart for the 97 cents. But I was at Walmart and I was at the dollar store and I liked these, so I picked them up. Only we can't call it the Dollar Tree anymore because it really isn't the Dollar Tree anymore. Just arranged them how I thought I might would want them. And now I'm just giving them a little hoop. And this is our video for today. Here's the little apples and the little apple and cow on display, and there's his funky looking caramel apple. You know, around here we they drip white chocolate on, and that's kind of what I was going for, that look, but it didn't turn out. But it's okay, it still looks cute. And I want to thank you all for popping in. For those who watched the whole video, thank you so very, very much. We'll be having another video in a few days. And thank you for your patience. And thank you so much for popping in. And here is our little cow and the pumpkins with some little decorations. And I think they turned out pretty cute. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you like what you see and you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I hope you enjoyed this. You guys have a very good day, a very good week, and remember that you are awesome and you deserve the world. So be happy.